So there have been a few tools in Lightroom that I've just recently discovered that I think you're going to appreciate. And if you don't know about these, you need to. So let's get into Lightroom right now. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. All right, so here's one image that I had just finished processing and moved it back from Photoshop into Lightroom. This is the finished flambient edit. And there's a few things that we should do to this image. Notice that the bathroom is lit here and it's pretty tungsten-y. So here is a really cool feature in Lightroom. If you come down here to the hue, saturation, and luminance sliders, now what you could do is try to guess and think, okay, maybe there's some yellows in there, and you can start pulling out the yellows. Oh, that works. That looks good. But what if there's a situation where you're not really sure what the color is? So maybe up here in the ceiling. So look at this little circle right here. If we just click on that and bring this up here, notice how it's got the circle with the up and down arrows. If we click and hold and drag down, look at the sliders. It's moving the blue and aquas out of the scene. Now again, this is a global refinement thing, so it's not going to work for every situation, because if you notice, it's moving, it's taking the blues out of the bedspread here. So this is something that you would probably want to do in Photoshop anyway, but I wanted to show you this. So if we reset these, we'll just bring these back. But check it out. If we come over here and do this and pull down, it's orange and yellow coming out of that. Now it is pulling it out of the wall a little bit, but if we toggle this on and off, we can see that it made a drastic change and it didn't really affect the wall color enough to worry about. So that's one feature that if you're not sure what colors, like color cast you have, just grab this little guy and just bring it down and hold it. You're going to click and hold and drag and move that down. All right, so the next feature, and I can already tell that maybe my horizontals or verticals aren't correct. We can come up here to the crop tool and click on this angle right here, and you're going to be able to click and hold down and just moves to something that needs to be vertical and straight up and down. It'll automatically adjust that. So check that out. That was another cool tool that I found, like, wow, that's really awesome. Instead of, I mean, there's another way you could just click and drag and maybe eyeball it like this, but I really like that aspect tool. So let's keep moving. The curves adjustment. I really like using this because it's really fast. We can just bring those shadows down. We can lift the highlights back up. Maybe boost those mids again. Bring that up there. And we toggle that on and off. I mean, it just gave it a nice extra punch of contrast, which makes the image look so much nicer. So here's another feature that I found that I've been using for a while, but I didn't really understand it fully. If we come down here to the filters, we can organize our images as we're taking them, and so we can file them based on either a star rating or a color rating, which I thought was really cool. So what I'd like to do is, as I finish an image, after I bring it back into Lightroom from Photoshop, I just like to simply flag it. It is the one right to the left. Now, I'm on a Mac. If a PC is different, I don't know. But you can also just hit the number 1 key and maybe set all your finished images to a star rating of 1. So the other thing to do, I like to do, is if you take a bunch of images and you're not going to use them all as far as your, you're going to, bring them in as layers in Photoshop. If there's some, like maybe your flash didn't fire and so you don't need that image. So for example, say we're looking at this room right here. As we're editing it, we're doing our bumps on it. We could just simply say maybe a 2 star is all the ones we're going to bring into Lightroom. Do our bump. Hit number 2 right here. This is all I'm doing is giving it a 2 star, and then this one, and then so when you get to the end of all the images that you want to bring into Photoshop, all you need to do is just hold down Command or Control, I think, on a PC, and just click on your 2 starred images, and then right click, and then bring them back into Lightroom. So how the other way you can do is, so 1 through 5 on your keyboard is going to give you the stars. So here's 1 on the keyboard, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is going to be the 5 stars. Well, 6 is going to give you a red box around it. 7 is going to give you a yellow box. 8 is going to give you the green, and 9 is going to give you the blue. So however you want to maybe organize them by color, if you work better that way. So just remember 1 through 5 is your star rating, and then 6, 7, 8, 9 is going to be your colors, your different colors. So then when you can come down here to filter, our color, there we go. So let's just select a couple more that are blue. And then all you have to do is come down here, and if you don't see this right here, just click on the word filter. It'll bring up all of them, and then click on the blue. You got to double click it, and it'll bring up all the images that you have classified as blue or red or yellow or whatever you choose. So that's just another way to organize all your images. You know, you could do 5 stars as the most important images that you want to export. 2 stars could be the ones that you're going to be bringing into Lightroom or into Photoshop from Lightroom to doing your flambient blending. So however you want to organize them that way, I just thought that was an interesting tool that I've never even used, and I've never paid attention to it before. Okay, here's another cool feature in Lightroom that is getting better and better with every update, is the masking tool. So here's a picture of a garage. We have a nice blue sky, but say we want to brighten up the garage a little bit. We can come over here to this mask tool right here and click subject. And it should be able to find the subject. Yep, look at that. It picked the house out perfectly. So now we can make adjustments just to that house, and we can bring up the highlights. I mean, maybe this one didn't really need it, but I'm just doing this as a demonstration. So anytime you move in these sliders now, it has created the mask just for that house. So we're not affecting the entire image, but just the house. And if we come up here and hit it again, we can create another mask and click on select sky. And now we can maybe bump the exposure on just the sky. There we go. Look at that. We can drop the exposure on the sky, and it masks it out pretty well. Bump the contrast of it or lift it a little bit. All right, but those are some of the helpful tips that I have found in Lightroom. Leave me a comment if you have any questions or if you've discovered more that are going to be beneficial to all of us. So again, I thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.